Today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Let's do it. This is a Delta faucet. Model is Geist. The one I have here is a 3-hole widespread faucet. They have other faucets similar to this, and this is the model number of this one. Then I'm going to turn to the side of the box, and you see that this is a valve only faucet. Let's flip over to the back of the box. Here we see all the tools that help to install the faucet. The box does not come with the water supply line that connect to the faucet, so you need to buy one yourself. Here are the tools you need: the adjustable wrench, a ton pliers, a plumber tape, some silicone sealant, and last the water supply line. Alright, let's turn over to the other side and open up the box. Let's open up the box and see what's inside. The first thing I see is the installation manual, or the instruction on how to install the faucet. It's pretty general. It's not specifically for the model I have. I open it up and look at the details and the pictures and the instructions, and basically it's pretty useless. So I have to figure it out myself most of the time. Let's put away the manual, and the first thing I see is the bracket and the nut secure the sprout. Then we have the black and blue. This is a push quick connector, connect to all the tubings. Next I see the big giant drain pipe. It has the head that can pop up and down like that, and to hold the water in the sink. Here you can see you can unscrew the head if the seal get worn out and water start leaking, and get a new one. So it's good that you can replace the head like that. Here you have the lock nut with the seal that you can screw the thing in the drain hole and secure it into the basin so the water in the sink won't leak underneath outside the pipe. There are two turn handles for the water supply. There are two separate ones. This one I'm holding is for the cold water, and you will see blue indicates cold water. Make sure that you check to turn if you go 90 degrees without any problem. If it's stuck, you have to call them and replace it. And the one I had is the blue is the cold water. This one, the red, is the hot water. Again, I want to make sure and check the turn is 90 degrees, no problem with it. And the last piece is the sprout. It sits between the two handles in the middle. Also make sure you check the push quick connect that is not damaged. And this one has spot shield technology, so on the surface it resists any fingerprint, water spot, and any stain, so I don't have to spend too much time cleaning. This is the layout of the whole faucet assembly. Red is hot, blue is cold, in the middle is the sprout. The sprout is secured by the gasket bracket and lock nut. The push connector here connect all three tubings together, and the usage bracket secure the sprout to the counter with the gasket and the lock nut. The tools I'm going to use is a Phillips screwdriver, masking tape. Next I use a wrench that I use to work on my car with an extension, a long extension with a deep socket. The reason I use a deep socket because you know that nut is pretty long, and for it, the socket to go in, it has to be a deep socket. And the size of the socket is here we show you is a 12 millimeters deep socket, which helps the installation a lot easier. Here I'm going to show you how all these parts put together with the sprout. Gasket go in this direction and not that direction. This gasket is put right underneath the sprout, and it goes on top of the counter. It helps to secure the sprout properly on top of the counter and also prevent any water that on the countertop from getting into underneath. The next one is a gasket underneath the counter, and it's a U-shaped gasket. You go in from the bottom underneath the sink, and then you put the U-shaped bracket next to it, right underneath the sink. Then you tighten the whole thing with this nut. You don't go this way. You open and go to the other way. You go in this direction, and you tighten it up underneath the sink. That's why I use this 12 mm disc socket, which helps to tighten up the nut and make life a lot easier. Just to remind everyone that you go to the center hole. There are 3 holes and the center one. Too much talking, now is about time to put it in. Make sure that you put in this gasket which stay on top of the counter. Here's the masking tape I will use to make the sprout to stand upright. First, I make a piece of tape, put it on the sprout parallel to the sprout, and tape it on the counter. This will make the sprout stand upright. Then I add a second tape and hold the sprout up straight and put it perpendicular to the sprout and tape it on the counter. This will help the sprout from falling forward. Underneath, first put in the U-shaped gasket, then the U-shaped bracket. Make sure the tubing go inside the U-shape before you put it together. Use one hand hold the bracket in place and the other hand put in the lock nut and screw it in temporarily. Before tightening the nut on the bracket, make sure the sprout sits in properly and straight. Then tighten the bracket. It comes handy with a deep socket with an extension, and it helps a lot to tighten the bracket. But be careful, don't over tighten it or you may damage the countertop. Let's see it looks straight, and let me double check to see if it's secure and tight. Everything look good. This is one of the water valve handle. I'm losing out the bracket underneath there. These 2 brackets that I'm taking out, it go underneath the sink. Then I have to remove the black plastic cap that protect the opening of the tube, so that the 2 bracket has room to come out to the other end. Make sure that the gasket stays with the water valve handle. You have the red and the blue water valve handle. The red one goes to the hole on the left. Underneath the sink, put in the washer first, then the metal bracket, and keep turning it clockwise until it gets tight and won't turn anymore. It's a lot easier. Try to use both hands. One hand holding the 2 pins and the other hand turn all the way. The water valve is going to move, and make sure you adjust it to the right position before tightening underneath. Now use a Phillips screwdriver to tighten the screw, but don't tighten it all the way. Do both sides gradually. Hey, my 2 cats, they are adopted, like to help, or maybe not.
Hey, no biting.
Daddy, just ignore her, remember?
The cat is crazy about the plastic cap that fell off. Now it's the turn for the cold water valve handle. Same way, remove both the bracket and the washer before putting it into the hole. Underneath the sink, the same procedure, put in the washer first, then the bracket, turn clockwise all the way until it's tight. On top, align the valve at the right position, then securely underneath with the screwdriver. Adjust both screws until it all tight. Double check the water valves handles are all aligned properly and can turn freely. This is how it looks like after you install. Looks pretty cool. This is how it looks like underneath the sink if everything is installed correctly. The blue is the cold water on the left and hot water red on the right. Now is the time to connect the 3 tubing with the push quick connector. I connect the middle one first and hold the tubing and push the connector up until you hear click. Then connect to the hot water valve tubing on the left. Make sure you hear the click. Last one is the cold water valve on the right. Double check the work, make sure everything is right. To connect the faucet to the wall water supply, you need a hose like that. The one I use here is the 3/8 inches times 1/2 inches connector. When connecting the hose to the water supply copper tubing, use one hand to hold the copper tubing and the other hand turn the connector clockwise. Try not to bend the copper wire or you may damage it and cause water leak. I'm using pliers to hold the copper wire steady. This helps a lot to tighten the nut from the water supply hose. So when I turn the water on, there's no leak. Then the other end of the hose I connect to the water supplies out from the wall. Same method I apply to the other side. Use the adjustable plier to hold the top copper pipe and use the other finger to turn and tighten the nut of the water supply line. Then connect the other end to the hot water supply from the wall. This is how it looks like after connect all the hose and tubing together. Everything looks good. Last is the drain assembly. From the installation manual, you're supposed to put some silicone sealant on the underside of the flange, like what I'm doing. Make sure you put enough to cover the whole area. And I like to use my finger to even out all the silicone sealant on the flange and remove any excess. Then I attach the gasket on and make it stick to the silicone and put it right into the sinkhole. And also you're supposed to put some silicone to the inside diameter of the black seal. This black seal I'm putting in, you're supposed to put some inside. I did. I pushed the seal up all the way to the top. Next insert the knob nut facing this way up, not the other way. Insert it all the way to the top. Turn it clockwise until it's tight. Use one hand to hold the body of the assembly, the other hand tighten the knob nut. Finally, with everything aligned, I can tighten each cap one by one. The drain caps aren't working properly, and it's time to turn on the cold water valve and check for any leak underneath, any water leak from the supply line, and also the drain pipe. And double check all the joints. Doesn't look like I have any leak at all. Check the bottom of the cabinet. Don't see any water. On top, I'm going to plug the drain. It looks like the water hole inside the sink. Don't hear anything drain out or leak. Double check again at underneath the sink, the joints, especially between connection between the sink and the drain assembly. Unplug the drain plug, let the water run, and check for any leak again. Don't look like I have any leak at all. Things look good. Check all the joints again. No leak. This is not a difficult job. Take some time to put together and save you a couple $100. Alright, thanks for watching. And if this video helped, please hit the like button and see you next time.